105.1 FM. This is the show where we discuss political and human interest stories that affect us as Nigerians and also as members of a global human community. Today, we'll be discussing the Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. And it is my pleasure to introduce our guest for today, Mutalubi Adebayo, SAN. Mutalubi Adebayo Ojo, admitted to the bar in 19 of the University of Ibadan. He was attached to the law firm of Bayo Alukolokun & Co. in Kaduna State for his National Youth Service program between 1993 and 1994. He later joined the law firm of Dele Akumishiti & Co. in Ibadan and was with the law firm from April 1995 to August 1998, when he left to join the foremost law firms of Olujimi and Akeredolu in 1998 till July 2002. Mutalabi Adebayo left ONA to establish the firm of Adebayo and Gbadamosi with his partner, Kazim Gbadamosi, SAN, in August 2002. He is the managing partner in the law firm to date. In August 2011, he was appointed the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of Oyo State, a position he held till 2015. Alabi Adebayo was conferred with the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria in 2022. He is a senator of the Junior Chambers International, a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, an associate member of the American Bar Association, and a member of the International Bar Association. He is also a director of Global Trust Savings and Loans Limited. Mutalabi Adebayo is happily married with children. Now to our topic of the day. Well, for over 2 decades, governance by most of the 74 local governments in Nigeria as the third tier and the closest level of government to the people, has been underfunded in most states due to the governor's withholding of the federal allocation belonging to them. Traditionally, funds from the federation account meant for local governments have been released through state governments. In the landmark ruling, the Supreme Court on Thursday described as an act of gross misconduct the payment of allocations to local governments through the states and immediately ordered the stoppage. The apex court held that Section 162, sub 4 and 5, which stipulated a joint account for state and local governments, had been defeated, the purpose thereof, and been exploited by the various state governments. He subsequently condemned the practice of dissolving local governments by governors, as well as the running of the third tier of government with caretaker committees. The Supreme Court judgment affirming financial autonomy for the local government system has sparked a debate among Nigerians, with most respondents applauding the ruling. Former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Dr. Olisa Agbakoba SAN, described the judgment as a landmark decision that will free the local governments from the undue influence of the governors. However, the former governor of the Delta State, James Ibori, sharply disagreed with the apex court, saying the judgment had dealt a severe setback to the principle of federalism as defined by Section 162, sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution. Today, we will discuss the various perspectives on the ruling, the benefits for effective governance and grassroots development, and any constitutional implications that the ruling may have. To join the conversation, you can reach us at 0700 1051 1051, on WhatsApp at 0909 916 4403, or you can reach out to us on our social media accounts at City1051 on Zoom, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, quickly, I'd like to welcome our guest to this program. Thank you very much, Mutalubi Adebayo SAN, for joining us on the program. Hello, can you hear me?
Doctor.
Yes, can you hear me?
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you very much indeed.
On the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Well, first, before we begin to discuss the subject, let me start today's program by first congratulating Professor Wole Soyinka, who is 90 years old today. Professor Soyinka, global icon, a national icon also, man of letters, a humanist, novelist, dramatist, poet, essayist. I mean, one of the shining lights of the Nigerian society, and a source of inspiration for generations of Africans with what he has done, writing about oppression, writing about injustice, and defending the humanistic ideal in our society. Congratulations, Prof. Many happy returns of the day. We join readers, lovers of literature all over the world in celebrating this great Nigerian patriot. Now, let me come back to you, Adebayo SAN, and ask you the judgment from the Supreme Court with Justice Emmanuel Agim reading the lead judgment. What is the significance, in your view, in terms of local government autonomy, and also what the court had to say about Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution?
That judgment by the Supreme Court, first and foremost, let me commend the courage and having said that, we must also commend the Honorable Attorney General of the country for using law as instrument of social engineering, because that's what they've done with the filing and the prosecution of that case. I want to commend the Supreme Court as well for lifting up to responsibility both as a court of justice and as a policy court. By that judgment on autonomy is simply to give effect to the constitutional provision as enshrined in Section 7 of the 1990, where in 7.1 Section 8 of Constitution which provide for the establishment, structure, proposal, finance, and function for such council. So we are simple. The Supreme Court does emphasize the law. What is contained in the Constitution? Simple. People should realize that Supreme Court is not only a court of justice like other courts, other superior courts, the High Court, and a court of policy. You see, I've always said this, that do whatever they like. They can do whatever they like. But democratic governance and constitutional democracy by the court of law, and most especially by the apex court, which must win to the line where it ought to be. And that was exactly of Supreme Court judgment. But from the snippet I've gathered and go through the media, especially the traditional media as well as the social media, or what we call the new media. The import of the judgment ably and lucidly delivered by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has spoken. Now, so that judgment takes immediate effect. All municipalities, individual body, government at any level must abide. Because, as we all know, and it is so elementary or tried, that we all know that appeal against the Supreme Court lies to nowhere, because that's the final court.
Okay, but I would like to ask you, in terms of the implications.
Financial economic matter has been finally settled and laid to rest in this country.
Okay, I would like to ask you a number of questions. Section 7, where that is very, very clear. But what then happens to existing caretaker committees? We still have caretaker committees in some of the states of the Federation. We also have LCDAs, local council development agencies, authorities, established, for example, in Lagos State and also in Ondo State. What happens to such creations by state governments?
Yes. You see, that's what I said. That judgment is clear enough. The judgment, our constitution recognizes only the 774 that are specified in the schedule to the constitution, and nothing more. And nothing more. So, caretaker committee are unknown to our constitution and illegal.
Okay.
Stated that caretaker committee is illegal. Where it is operated, they are doing so at the whims and caprices of the governors of those states. But some questions, if they are operating in any state today, they cease immediately, because the Supreme Court judgment take immediate effect. They cease to operate right from Thursday when the Supreme Court. If they refuse and they neglect or fail to abide by that judgment, which nobody can depart from or refuse to. During the FAC meeting, Federal Allocation Committee, sought local government apply to receive their own share of federal allocation. And this is quite different from the case of Lagos State, when their money was embargoed or seized by the Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Before that one, it was done unconstitutionally and illegally. But in this one now, this one had the full force of the law. That from that day, when that document was delivered or handed down, no state in this country should operate or have what we used to know as caretaker.
apply or follow the spiritual judgment of the SCDA. SCDA also, wherever they are, because they are not listed or not to concern, they cannot receive allocation from the federal allocation.
Okay, I also like to ask
illegal as far as yes, sir.
Okay, your line seems to be failing. I think maybe it's a function of the location where you are. But let me ask you, what then happens to state local councils joint account? Because that is still in the constitution. Does the ruling by the 7-1 panel, does it automatically abrogate that joint account?
The local government joint account has provided with that decision. In essence, forthwith, there is nothing like a government account, nothing like a joint allocation committee. Again, it has been wiped out, and because local.
Hello, Adebayo Sen.
Doing that is like
hello.
The local government chairman are all now governors. They are now like governors in the respective local government. And let me say, and efficiency can now of efficiency alone, because local government of this country are no longer responsible to them. Their independence has been secured and
Hello, are you there?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, maybe it's your location. Maybe it's where you are sitting, because the line keeps failing. But I can hear you now.
I can see. Yes. I said without judgment, there is nothing like Jack again, or what they call joint allocation committee of the state. That judgment as name of that body. There's nothing like it again. And I also said the Ministry of Local Government and Citizens Affairs in every state should now be known as Ministry of Chief, because local government of state are no longer responsible for them. They are no longer responsible to them. So they will now be known as Ministry of Citizens Affairs alone.
Okay, Adebayo SCN. Adebayo SCN. Maybe let's take a short break, and then we would, take a second look at the connection. Maybe I'll ask the studio to call you on phone, so that we can hear you clearly. Because, these are important issues, and it's important that we hear you. Let's take this short break while, we try to reestablish proper audio connection with our guests. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
The contracts in NDDC are given out to members of National Assembly, but you don't know about it.
When you need unbiased information, balanced analysis, reviews, and insight on the policies and programs that concern you, listen to City Talks with Ruben Abba. Abati. Be a part of it. Call 0700 1051 1051 to lend your voice on topics and help shape our country for the better.
My name is Ruben Abati. I will be your host on City Talks from noon to 1 p.m. every Saturday. Join me as we dissect major issues of public interest. You will be glad you did.
City Talks with Ruben Abati on your number one lifestyle station, City 1051. From noon to 1 p.m. every Saturday.
Vibe boy. Oh my darling, God bless your mommy for this your body. I want to lavish all my money on top your body, oh. I want to rock your body, oh. Darling, God bless your mommy for this your body. I want to lavish all my money on top your body, oh. I want to you, When she texts, I dey text right back. A selfie on me Snapchat. She said I'm a ride or die. That's right, she be my type. Give me your love, I no go use you play. I love you, wait, make you be my name. Holla my name, baby, holla my name. Oluwa lo ṣe baby, holla my name. Darling, God bless your mommy for this your body. I want to lavish all my money on top your body, oh. I want to rock your
I go call right back. I love him just like that. He said, baby, you're for me, but make it not do me con you. He said, let me love you, baby, man, she call me, oh. Me right for you, me no lie for you, oh baby. Whenever you need me, oh baby, show my baby. I write a song to tell you, go show me. I love you forever, babe. Never say never, yeah. Utojo meta, babe. Let me love later, oh my darling.
for me, your mommy, for this your body. I want all my money on top your body, oh. I want to rock, darling. Bless your mommy for this your body. I want to lavish all my money on top your body, oh. I want to you go there for like oh mama, you can't stop me, should die, oh fly, oh for life, oh mama.
Most of the contracts in NDDC are given out to members of National Assembly, but you don't know about it. It's okay.
When you need unbiased information, balanced analysis, reviews, and insight on the policies and programs that concern you, listen to City Talks with Ruben Abati. Be a part of it. Call 0700 1051 1051 to lend your voice on topics and help shape our country for the better.
My name is Ruben Abati. I will be your host on City Talks from noon to 1 p.m. every Saturday. Join me as we dissect major issues of public interest. You will be glad you did.
City Talks with Ruben Abati on your number one lifestyle station, City 1051. From noon to 1 p.m. every Saturday.
Break. And if you're just tuning in, this is City Talks with Ruben Abati on City 1051 FM. Today we've been discussing the Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. with Mitalubi Adebayo, SAN. If you want to be part of the conversation, remember, you can call us on 0. You can message us 0909 916 4403. Or you can also join us on our social media accounts at City1M. Thank you very much for staying with us, Adebayo SA. And very quickly, I was asking you about the implications of the, the local government joint accounts, where it will still exist.
No, I said with that judgment.
There's something.
With that judgment, every by Supreme Court, the joint accounts, which was hitherto in operation in all the states of the country, has been abolished and laid to rest with that judgment of Supreme Court. So there is nothing again like just accounts in this country any longer, because the implication of that judgment is that all the 724 local governments across the country will now receive their allocated directly from the federal allocation and not through the state government as it used to be. So if they are getting directly, then what is the role of that joint account committee? It has become, it has not only become ineffectual, but it has ceased to be in existence with that judgment delivered by the Supreme Court. And again, I also said, in essence, it means that section of the Constitution has been deleted by the judgment of Supreme Court. Furthermore, I also said that the Ministry of Local Government have chief places or whatever they are called in the office of the situation to not be known and called Ministry of Chief Places Affairs only. Because local governments are no longer responsible to them. They can no longer approve their funding. Local governments now are also like governors in their respective states. And the chairman is like a governor of that local government now. The chairman. The vice chairman, the elected one, is also like the vice or the deputy governor. While the councillors are the lawmakers. So they don't have any recourse. So the state houses of assembly again any longer. And they also have their commissioner who are the supervisory councillors appointed by the local government, and which must also be screened by their local council or their parliament, which consists of the elected councillors. So those are some of the implications of that judgment. So it is really a landmark judgment, and it has really changed a lot of things. So it is no longer the business as usual, or what we were used to. But now a new order has been brought into force in this country with that landmark judgment of Supreme Court on financial autonomy to local government. It's not only financial autonomy, it is autonomy for the local government.
Okay, the Attorney General of the Federation, indeed, Fagbemi calls it local government emancipation judgment. But now that you say that the local councils can now collect directly from the Federal Allocation Committee, we have 774 local governments. How about the logistics of 774 local governments collecting money from Abuja on a monthly basis directly?
I
quite agree with you. There will be no logistics nightmare in that regard.
I quite agree with you, Honorable Federal. In fact, I will also call it liberation of our local government from the tyranny and oppression of the state governors. the library place. Doctor, getting their phone address is not difficult. It is not difficult. It's easy. It is very simple. You know now, we in this country operate what we call cashless economy. Okay, how are civil servants all over the country getting their money from their respect from their employer, being the federal government, state government, local government? It is by way of what we call e-transfer. All the local government will now submit their account, verified account, so far. And the candidate of the president will get it directly. It is easy. You know, we asked from what do they call it? Something like is it end fund policy and some social or welfare package which the federal government did. All of them were, all the beneficiaries were credited from one account. In the same way, federal government, 724 government, if maybe they are 1 million, then that is, it is easy and simple. How are all the facilities that we have, and other tertiary institutions, including teaching hospitals, and all the government agencies, receiving their budgetary allocation from Abuja? Their accounts are no, they will just get it. That will not put any difficulty at all. To me, it's simple. I don't foresee or see any difficulty in that regard. And again,
okay, let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
I was going to ask you, are there other sections of the Constitution that will need to be amended accordingly to achieve this objective of local government liberation, to use your expression? For example, Section 2 does not expressly mention local councils. Section 197 creates a state independent electoral commission, which still places these same local governments under the control of the state governments. And then even that Section 162 itself, do we still need to amend it to completely remove reference to state local government joint account?
Look, I entered a caveat earlier on this program that I'm here to get a copy of that judgment, to actually read it and study it, to know the essence of that judgment. But with what I've gathered from the former and the new media, as well as legal platform, I can say authoritatively, without missing it, that I know that the joint account, the section joint account, has been deleted or repealed. No, not repealed, because what is wrong is the section of the law has been deleted from our own country. I don't think the issue of conduct of local government is conduct the election to local government all over the country, as it is being conducted by the state independent election commission. I don't think it was one of the reliefs that the Honorable Attorney sought for before the Supreme Court. I don't think so. And until we see it on me. But if it was sought for and it was granted, that section again it automatically follow that section will also go and give way in line with the decision of the Supreme Court. But like I said, I'm here to see the judgment itself, to know whether that one is captured in the decision of the Supreme Court. But if it is, there's no way about it. It becomes automatically deleted as well, like the issue of the Jack.
Okay, let me bring in some other reactions, because we already have people, participating in the conversation, and I will read out to you some of the reactions. Dr. Fortune Fiberesima asks, he says, how can an account that is recognized in the Constitution be abolished by a Supreme Court judgment? Wow. Just a moment, let me read another one. This is from Marcelo Keke. He says, now that the government has the courage to secure independence for the local government areas in terms of funding, can it also follow up to address other inequities regarding local governments? Specifically, inequity in terms of number of local governments in the states. Can it be addressed by the Supreme Court? Lagos has 20 local government areas and Kano has 44. Yet, the two states have about the same population size. Those two interventions by Chief Marcelo Keke and Dr. Fibere Sima.
Okay, let me answer the earlier one. What about it? You see, like I said earlier on, Supreme Court is not only a court of justice, but Supreme Court is also a policy court. It is a policy court. And what Supreme Court did with that judgment, although it is landmark, but it's nothing out of rules. Supreme Court just making up to his responsibility. And now, on the question asked that how can the Supreme Court, am I with you, sir? Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hello, sir.
The second question is, how can the Supreme Court address inequities regarding the number of local governments?
I want to get the remaining part of the first question before I come to the second question.
No, the first question is, can the Supreme Court, can it abolish joint local government and state accounts in the Constitution?
Okay, thank you. Supreme Court has power to do that. Because court of law, they are to interpret the law and the constitution of the country. And it is elementary principle of law which is certain that law is what the court said it is. Law is they are not lawmakers. They are not to make law. They are only interpreting law. So law is what the Supreme Court said it is. Likewise, the constitution has to be interpreted in the manner in which the Supreme Court said it is. And Supreme Court has, in their wisdom, has said that although this is an anomaly, and it has been deleted. That part, that is related to it. So there is nothing special about it. The Supreme Court is only performing its role and duty as the interpreter of the constitution of the land and the highest interpreter of constitution for that matter. We start to order the second question now. We start to order inequities. There are several of them in the constitution which we are operating. A lot of them, a lot of things that are supposed to be there. Like also the constitution listing the number of local governments we have, which has really hampered or hindered the growth and development in some states of the country, because it is quite unfair and imbalanced to some states. But look, the governors, or even the governors of the state, or the bodies of a state parliament, or even if you die in the state, to find action, or if it cannot before a concept of decision, not state government, to challenge all sorts of anomalies in the country, and the court is there, the court are there for us to interpret and decide or say. We must formulate the courage, the sagacity, and the innovative action taken by the president through the office of the Attorney General in bringing about this landmark judgment. You see, and again, we have our lawmakers at the national level, the House of Members of the House of Representatives and our senators. They are elected from the states to represent us in Abuja. You see, they are the voice of the people. let them do holistic amendment to the present unworkable condition which we have. That's their duty, that's their role. They should not be dealing with it bit by bit on the pieces. They should really sit down and look at the data concern critically and work it and do a comprehensive amendment. Let them add what they think should be there, let them add it to it, and whatever they believe it's not making a balancing work. This will ensure they are repealed or deleted from the government by way of proposal amendment as opposed to what they are doing now, which I will call the indiscriminate amendment, which is not holistic. That's how those iniquities can be cured. It should not be left for, and I want to say that should not be left for our governors or personally. All of us, and especially the human rights activities and the civil rights organizations, including the media, can also take it up. They can take it up, and you have advocacy. And if you look at it, people the judgment that celebrate today, their advocacy has long been in the air, and it has always been put on the front burner by the civil society organizing the country. We should not repent on ours. It's not yet through. We are yet to get there, but we are on the way to get there, and we can make steady progress. And I believe we will only arrive at that stage, so that we have what I would call true federalism, and also a functional and ideal constitution for this country.
Okay, well, another intervention here. This is from Comrade Engineer Igbini Odafe Emmanuel. He's saying that the Supreme Court invoked the doctrine of necessity, and this is morally and constitutionally just and right. The situation Nigerians have found themselves since May 29, 1999 is sadly such that has led to total collapse of democratic, responsible, and responsive local government administration across the country due to the governor's disregard and disrespect for Nigerian constitution. And that, and he says, I'm trying to read what he has.